and give a welcome address, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bhartika. I hope I'm audible and
Ji,
visible
sir.
to all of you.
Ji, sir.
Yeah. Fine. Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Bhartika, and thank you, Ms. Kushbu, for bringing such an eminent personalities on board today. Good morning to all of you. At the outset, on behalf of the whole JSB fraternity, I take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Sathya Narayanan on board today on this special session on role of leadership during the pandemic. Thank you so much, Mr. Sathya, for accepting our invitation. And you have graced this session to add, I'm sure, the certain values to the wisdom and existing knowledge base of our young budding managers. I would also like to thank the whole participants, including all our young budding managers, faculty, and staff members, those who are here expecting to add certain values to their wisdom. The topic is very, very interesting and commonly, we say, commonly uncommon for all of us. This has forced us to learn how to survive and lead our life during any such uncommon and unprecedented pandemic, made in natural or man-made. My dear students, during the crisis like COVID-19, people look to the leaders for the compassion, for the care, and the confidence in navigating the company into the future. You know, someone has rightly said, crisis does not build the character, it reveals that. The strength of a true leader is revealed when it comes under the fire. The situations like COVID-19, which we all are facing since last 2.5 years. And it can be safe to say that the past 2.5 years have been an extremely testing period. All of us, to be very specific, to all the leaders across the organization. Not taking much time, okay, let me once again welcome and invite Mr. Sathya to enlighten our young budding managers on this very, very pertinent and interesting topic, okay, on which we all are living since last 2.5 years. Over to you, Mr. Sathya. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm sure after this particular session, the students will be going much wiser. And like Kuchbu was telling us also before, that once this pandemic is over, we would also like to see you in campus to enlighten our students. Over to you, Sathya.
Sure. First of all, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Tapan, for your nice words and an introduction. And also, I'd like to thank Kushbu, Dr. Vartika, and also again, Yash, Jaipuria for inviting me for this talk. When Kushbu spoke to me about some of the couple of topics for today's discussion or interaction, I felt this is one of the topics which is very interesting. Like Dr. Tapan mentioned, so not every leader is so successful during the pandemic because again, it has completely changed the life of everybody. And also then finally, I said I'll take up this topic, leadership during the challenging times. And also what I'm going to do is instead of having a generic talk on leadership during the challenging times, I'm going to give you an example of our company. We went through the crisis and how we are able to successfully come out of that and how we have managed it with all our employee engagement activities. So this is my background. Pratik was talking about, I started as a medical rep and then now I'm the managing director for South Asia. I have spent majorly most of my time in sales and marketing and also in the general management the last 15 years. I am also again an executive committee member of Organization of Pharmaceutical Producers of India. Their OPPI is all the research-based MNC organizations of pharmaceutical companies in India. I'm also chairing the HR, medical regulatory, where I work with DCGA and also the government authorities for the regulatory reforms. And also we are working with the government for the OTC task force. Also, why I'm sharing this slide is almost majority of my presentation, I'll be talking about examples from the pharmaceutical industry. Whereas going back to the topic, whichever industry you're getting into, whether it's automobile or any industry, the leadership principles are going to be the same. Right. So with that in mind, I'll give you a quick background about the company. Many of you may not know about the company Galderma. We are a Swiss company. Galderma was started in 1981 as a joint venture between Nestle and L'Oreal. 2011, we acquired a company called QMed. They are producing dermal fillers called Restylane, and also we have a product called Dysport. 2014, we became a fully owned company of Nestle, and then there it was called as Nestle Skin Health. And 2019, we became the world's largest independent dermatology company following the consortium of acquisition by the private equity. We are the world's largest dermatology company, a Swiss-based company. So we are into three verticals. Galderma is into three verticals. We are into aesthetic medicine, which is globally big for us, 39%. We have got a big product called Restylane, Azalor, Sculptra, and then Dysport is a toxin. And in consumer contributes around 31%, which Cetaphil is a big brand for us. Cetaphil, we have cleansers, moisturizers. Different is our own research brand called, it's called as Adapalene for acne. Loceryl is for nail fungal infection, and Benzac is for acne. And coming to our prescription portfolio, we have got a product called Epiduo. Acleaf is also our own research molecule. We spend a lot of money on research. What really differentiates Galderma between other dermatology companies? Our own research and innovation. Some of the products which you see like Epiduo, Acleaf, Oracia, all are our own research product. And Solantra is also for rosacea, and Medvix is for skin cancer. And globally, we operate in more than 100 countries, 4,600 employees with a turnover of 3 billion. After coming to today's topic, very interesting topic, and then the leadership during the COVID times. So you all know every industry got impacted, whether it's pharma, automobile, or you take any industry got impacted. So coming to pharmaceutical, there is a high burden states which contributes almost 50% to the pharmaceutical turnover, like Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and also Karnataka, which contributes almost 50% to the pharmaceutical market turnover, got heavily impacted. And also some of the therapeutic groups, right? Again, like cardiac, some of the chronic segments did not get impacted much, April and May, like cardiac, diabetic, but some of the acute segments like anti-infective, anti-diabetic, gastrointestinal, pain analgesic, vitamins and minerals. Look at derma, where we operate, it got impacted to negative 17%. One of the worst categories, again, worst therapeutic group which got impacted during the COVID times. And also in April last year, you all know the 20 billion pharmaceutical industry, which used to clock around 10 to 12% growth year on year, for the first time faced crisis. Again, a decline in the sales in terms of 12%. Not only that, again, pharmaceutical in India again imports close to around 69% of the bulk drugs from China. With the buffer stock existed, with the continued the COVID will continue again. It will continue only for 2 to 3 months. If the prolonged shutdown would hurt, another huge cash crunch for every industry. And also the major hurdles in terms of transportation, supply chain got impacted in a big way. Ancillary goods like medicine to production get detained or shut. Vehicle suppliers of the packaging material medicines get detained. Flight shutdown has led down goods being stuck at several locations. And also the printers that manufacture the packaging medicines are also shut. Transporters, couriers, and then services were not operating. That put industry into a big trouble. What is the impact? Because increase in the prices, because most of the raw materials are coming from China, and also again supply chain got disrupted in a big way. Prices of the raw materials have gone up. Limited face-to-face meeting with the dermatologists or with the HCPs, healthcare professionals. For pharmaceutical companies like us, and then we meet our customers, our medical reps goes and meet them face to face. That got impacted in a big way. And also additional revenue loss due to return of expired goods, because 3-4 months nothing has happened. So again, we started getting a lot of return goods from the market. And also decrease in the outpatient prescription sales, those it's fallen heavily. Because patients did not go to the doctor's clinic, and then they postponed elective procedures like cosmetic treatment. So entire industry got impacted, and the dermatology market got impacted in a big way. Right. So, what are the things which went through? Every company, whether it's any industry for that matter, went through different phases all these 4 phases. First is rebuild, resilience, rebounds, and reimagining. Every company went through these phases, right? So because of this initially high impact on the sellout, supply chain disruptions, which I spoke about, collection issues, e-commerce functional only for essential items, 94% drop in the patient footfall at dermats and pediatric clinic, 85% drop in the purchases. All the aesthetic clinics were shut, zero business in April and May. And also what is important is the team morale and motivation was so low because the team used to go and meet the doctors physically, the entire team office and then the field team sitting at home. They did not know what to do. So much of confusion, right? So that has impacted in a big way. I think we are one of the few companies we went through resilience and then rebounds phase very, very fast, which I'll talk about in the subsequent slides. And also some of the first priorities was taking charge of the supply chain disruptions, right? So when we are not able to supply stock to the markets, and how will you ensure our patients, our consumers are able to get the stocks right on time? Cash and cash flow management, right, which got impacted because again market was shut and then the chemists could not pay, the distributors could not pay, our manufacturers could not pay. So cash and cash flow got impacted in a big way. Customer engagement, where we could not meet our customers because our reps are sitting at home, even customer clinics are shut. Employee engagement was also, how do we engage employees? That was also one of the challenges. Also again, once this gets normalized, we're talking about the back to normal. How do we ensure that back to office guidelines or the back to field guidelines? So those are the things we have started working. One side, there was a big impact, and the other side, we have started working on the mitigation plan. And as the leadership team, what was the topmost priority? Redefining the leadership role. I was reading a book from Conferry where they talk about, again, for your improvement, they talk about 38 leadership competencies, which is relevant at any point of time. But again, the leadership has not changed during the COVID time, but again, we need to really prioritize some of the leadership competencies, right? So the topmost priority was people are sitting at home, they are going through physical, emotional, and mental well-being, which was a topmost priority for us as a leadership team. And we said we need to address this as a first priority. So during this crisis time, as a leadership team, what is important for us is one of the important competency is being resilient. How do we maintain the confidence, the positive attitude despite the adversity? Nobody knows what is going to happen next month, and then what is they not know when are we going to open up the market, right? So complete confusion, and also manage the crisis effectively. And also, how do we bounce back from the setback? So this is one of the important competencies which all of us should have as a leader when we're dealing with the pandemic. Drive engagement, lead virtually. So I've been earlier, for me also, for the first time, leading virtually. Earlier, we used to go to the meetings and then sit with the team, talk to them, motivate, and come back. Whereas for the first time, we are into Zoom call and then Microsoft team call, people are sitting at home. How do we motivate them virtually, right? And then that was a big challenge. And also, how do we ensure that, again, people are, our employees are completely engaged? And the next competency, which was there, was situational adaptability. How do we adapt ourselves, personal, interpersonal, and also leadership behavior based on the things which are changing so rapidly? And the next important competency which we are working on was managing the complexity. Because first time in lifetime, I'm going through a pandemic like this. Even business continued to plan, even though we had, but again, we are never expecting this type of a pandemic. During the complexity, managing the complexity, how do we ask the right question to the people? How do we get the right data from the multiple sources? And how do we evaluate? Even you want to make a strategy, how do we ensure that we have the pros and cons evaluated well in advance so that we're able to take very well informed and right decision, right? So those are the things which we did. And then these are the redefining the leadership priorities, which we did as an organization. And also, this is a slide from McKinsey, which talks about leaders need to know all this when every phase, resolve phase. In the first phase, address immediate challenges which has happened during the COVID times. Like I spoke about the supply chain disruption. And second is resilience. Address the near-term cash management, right? And then if you're not able to get the cash on time, you'll not be able to pay salaries for people, right? And then you will not be able to manage the manufacturer. You'll not be able to get the stock on time. Right, so that part was handled very, very effectively by my finance team. On return phase, once we are returning back to office or to the field, how do we have a detailed plan so that once we business back, how do we scale up quickly as the virus evolves? That was another phase we are working on. And also reimagining the phase, right? And then once we get back to normalcy, how do we imagine the next normal? right? Dr. Tapan was talking about the new normal. Again, there is something called next normal. How do we ensure that in the next normal we are able to perform better? And also in the reform, be clear about regulatory and competitive environment, which is going to change completely, right? And then earlier, pharma industry is one of the industries which always very little slow on in terms of digital transformation, whereas with this COVID has really made it really faster. And also the competitive and regulatory environment is going to change in a big way that we need to be prepared for. As a leader, that's what we did. And then be calm, right? And then it's going to be tough, but it is easier said than done. But again, confident and positive. Be courageous when you're taking decisions. Be empathetic. That's extremely critical, right? And then ensure our employees, put yourself in the employee shoes. What is that they're going through, and ensure that they're with you. And being resilient, which I spoke in the previous slide. As a leader, you express a vision, which is extremely critical. That's what we did. So we told them when the first 3-4 months, when we went through this, and then we told our employees, the next normal, new normal, what is that we are going to do as an organization? How we are going to transform this company into a digital transformation? How are we going to get into disruptions which pharma industry has not seen? And also the next thing was communicate, which is very important. When people are not clear, when you are going through the pandemic, it's very important that we talk to them and communicate to them about the vision. And also, again, we had several town halls to ensure that people are completely engaged and then they are with us. And also act. When supply chain got disrupted, and also we have several issues, then we need to act. And then we spoke to the municipal commissioner, and also again we spoke to the industry association. They're able to get the stocks immediately. We spoke to the pharma associations. We're able to get the stocks on time. So every time when you have a town hall meeting, seek clarity for the people, right? Which is extremely important. What is that? What is going through their mind? And finally, keep it simple. During a pandemic, and then we cannot complicate things. Then keep it simple. That's what we did as an organization. And also from now on, I'll share with whatever we did in terms of all the phases of pandemic, how we went through, and then how we are able to transform the company from what we were doing earlier into a completely digital transformation and disrupt the entire industry. First thing we did was earlier we were doing digital, but again we said that's not enough. That's not enough. From doing digital, we need to go being digital. That's extremely critical. So that's what we did. From successfully launched a global CRM system, we are able to get quickly the approval, and then we launched it immediately within 3rd or 4th month, by which our team was able to communicate to the customers through this Viva tool, right, which is a digital tool. And also we updated the IT capabilities immediately. And also we are able to help our teams in terms of digital detailing to the consumers. They're able to help them, and also how to handle the objections digitally or virtually. So those programs were done. And once again, there was a gap. Stay connected with the customers. We're able to do that with WhatsApp, with the doctors, emails, and also the chemists and stockists, which was done very, very successfully. And also again, we took charge in a big way. Coming to employees, I told you again, they are extremely important, and then employee engagement, work from home, and then all of them are working from home. We're able to, once the pandemic started, we're able to give them the hand sanitizers, masks, go to the consumer and also the prescription team. We did a lot of town hall meetings every fortnightly to ensure that they're all completely with us. And we use this opportunity to ensure that they're good on product knowledge, improving the selling skills, objection handling, all those were done. And also well-prepared and skilled sales force for the upcoming new normal. We started preparing them well, and then walk the talk by the leaders, visiting the office, check the safety, hygiene measures, and also kicked out the field work with all the safety precautions. And then we started with the book and also the videos, the new normal once it starts, and then how do we ensure that our safety first. In terms of customers, right? So there also we did a lot of work. I told you about the digital transformation we did, and then how do we disrupt the market instead of physical activities. Successful digital social media. We went completely into social media. We had live programs in Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, all those. We're able to do a lot of programs with the customers, talking about the skincare, about the acne management. Instead of the live programs, we are able to successfully do that during digital areas. And also, what are the measures? I was talking about employees are extremely critical and very important, right? And what are the measures we took to ensure employee wellness and safety? I strongly believe in this. We had motivational sessions for creating blueprint for life, and then every month we had some program other to talk to the team, and also not only for our employees and also for the family members. We are on a regular intervals and then a lot of motivational programs. And also one of the major challenges which we faced was during this pandemic, again, 4, 5, 6 months, people are sitting at home. They went through a lot of emotional and also the emotional issues. So we tied up with an agency called ICAS. Our employees can pick up the phone and then talk to them about their emotional issues and then get the counseling. It's not only for the employees and also for the families, which we did. Health and wellness was the topmost priority. We are able to give them monthly PPE safety kits. And also we did getting back to work guidelines or also videos. Once it opens up, we are able to give them complete guidelines, how to go about, and also the videos. It's not only for the company, and also again, we did for the entire industry through OPPI. And also art of living, mindfulness, where we did yoga, meditation, and beyond, and then a lot of activities for the employees and families, because employee engagement is a priority and we want to keep them completely engaged. And also again, insurance top-up, right? And then knowing how the disease was spreading very, very fast, we did the insurance top-up for people. And also we also ensured all our employees are vaccinated, and then we took care of their expenses in terms of for the families, COVID vaccination. And also again, 73 of our employees got impacted with COVID. I personally spoke to each and every one of them and then told them that I also went through the same COVID, and then I come out, and also again, giving them confidence and then motivation to come out of this. What is the impact? And then we have done a lot of work during the wave 1 and then wave 2, right? And then what is the impact? So when the entire industry was struggling, right? Many companies were shutting down. Many companies were laying off people. And also again, they're cutting down the salaries. We as a company in 2020, we grew by 10%. And last year, 2021, we grew by 60%. How did we do it? When companies, like I said, companies were reducing people, and then we are increased our field force by 36%. During October to December of 2020, we did around 36% increase in the employee headcount. And also last year, we increased our headcount by 37%. And also not only that, I spoke about disruption in terms of digital strategy, in terms of processes. I spoke about Viva, how to connect with the customers. And we did the Viva CRM for the people, Workday, Coupa. We were able to do a lot of digital initiatives, which has really helped us, whether it's wave 2 or wave 3. Our people are very well prepared, so they are not worried at all. So they are able to prepare well and manage any of those complexities which are going to come up. As a pharma industry, we are always used to launching product physically, right, to the consumers, whereas we have learned to launch products through virtually. We never done a virtual launch earlier. They're able to launch 12 products and then 22 SKUs in the year 2021, which you are going to see the results. That's why again we are able to grow at 60%, right? So whatever activities we did in terms of employee engagement, and also again with the digitalization process, and also again the new product launches, we're able to grow the organization at 60%, and also taking care of all the employee health and wellness and safety. So this, whatever performance, internal performance which we did, was recognized externally also, right? So we have received so many awards last year. The Great Place to Work certification is very, very difficult to get, and then we're able to get it, the Great Place to Work for certification. And also the Best Workplace for Women Employees by Economic Times. And also I got the CEO of the Year award by Economic Times. And also we got a certificate from the Ministry of Finance for paying the taxes on time. And also several awards. We never thought again by the launch of a new product through virtual medium, we will be able to do so much. Whereas we're used to concept of only the physical launches. These are the awards which have received Affiliate of the Year, JPAC, one of the best countries where we are able to manage the COVID and also take care of the employee safety. Among the JPAC, Japan, Asia Pacific countries, we reached an internal award. And OPPI Marketing Excellence Award for Cetaphil Bright Healthy Radiance launch. And also this is one of the important awards, Viva Euro Awards for getting into digitalization in CRM module, Golden Star Award for Cetaphil, the best brand in the digital presence. Within 2 years, we're able to make a big digital presence. Best skincare brand for Cetaphil, emerging brand of the year, Cetaphil BHR, which is one of the products we launched last year, and also best new product launch award for Cetaphil Bright Healthy Radiance. Right, to conclude again, so Galderma was considered as one of the companies by Economic Times where we are able to successfully manage the COVID pandemic by taking care of employee health and safety parameters in a big way, right? So with that, this is my last slide. Thank you so much. If there is any questions, I'd like to take it now.
So we have a few questions. So I have few questions with me.
Yeah.
Okay. So when Ayushi is asking about how leaders build optimism among the workers. So in your slides you have talked about, but you want answers how leaders build optimism among the workers.
Yeah. So again, if you see again, if you see here, I talked about some of the leadership do's and don'ts, right? Again, be calm, right? And then when you're talking to the workers and also the field force, you should not panic. Yeah, even though you would have gone through COVID, but again, what is important during that time is how do you maintain your calmness, then confident and positive attitude, and also again, how do you be empathetic? Be with the person and then what he is going through, right? So, and also again, resiliency, which I spoke in the previous slide, right? So those are the things which are important. And then you know to communicate. That's extremely important at any level, either office people level or the worker level or the medical rep level or the factory level. These things are extremely critical.
So, sir, at the factory level, one of the students is asking, at the factory level, what was the measures taken by you for the blue collar workers?
Okay, so again, we don't have our own factory, but again, we work through a third-party manufacturers. We work very, very closely with our factory employees through the third party, right? And then we ensure that again, they're also initially some of them started moving out to their native towns, right? How do we bring them back, right? So that way, our third-party employees did a great job in bringing back, giving them the confidence, and also ensuring that all the PPE kits were given to them, talking about the health and safety, wellness. Right, so those things were done on a regular basis. So that's why they're able to. Otherwise, one of the major impact was when the workers went out of for their hometowns. We never had people again in the factory level. So how do we bring them back? That's one of the biggest challenge. So we're able to do a lot of activities, working with our third-party team, and then able to bring them back.
Sure, sir. Sure. We have a few more questions. How do you define priorities during COVID crisis, as everything was important to manage at that time?
Yeah. So that's a very, very, very interesting question. And then if you see here, so that's one of the, like I was talking about the book which I read, again, in conferring competencies. There are 38 leadership competencies. Everything is important. As a leader, everything is important. So how do you prioritize? That becomes very, very important during the challenging times like this. So being resilient, right? And then so during normal times, again, this may not be very important, but again, during this time, pandemic time, this becomes one of the topmost competency which we need to take care. Drive engagement. So out of the 38 competencies, what we did was we worked with our team, leadership team, and told them again, these are the competencies, and this is what we are going through. How do we prioritize this? And then we're able to pick up these 4, and then we're able to demonstrate as a leadership team. So how do we prioritize this? So these are the 4 ones which we did, and this has really helped us. This really worked for us. But again, it keeps changing. Leadership competencies keep changing. That's why the situational adaptability is very important. Once things becomes normalized, again, we cannot have the same thing, right? We need to keep moving. So there are a lot of other competencies like accountability, right? So those things comes into the picture.
Correct, sir.
So the degree varies.
The degree varies. So if we talk about different, like you in your slides you have spoken about employee engagement and customer engagement. I was just writing it down.
Yeah.
So what was more difficult, engaging the employees in the difficult times or engaging the customers in the difficult time?
Both I would say was challenging. Right. I'll tell you again, generally pharma industry works through our medical reps going and meeting the doctors in the clinics. So during the pandemic situation, again, they cannot go, they cannot travel, right? It's most of a traveling job. So they're not sitting at home, right? And then they're not able to meet the customers. First is how do we ensure that again they're able to meet them, and second thing is how do we continue to engage with them, and then how do we motivate them? So that was one of the challenging time. At the same time, even for the customers, and then so for example, dermatology, it's not like any other disease where we can do the teleconsultation, right? So dermatology is seeing, believing, right? And then they want to see the skin disease and then prescribe. So, for example, some of the aesthetic procedures, they cannot do it on the teleconsultation, right? So they need so the clinics were shut. So one is how do we ensure that again our people connect with the doctors and then our employees. At the same time, how do we connect with the customers? How do we help them, right? So both we did. Again, we did for the customers. We organized a lot of webinars by global speakers coming on the talk and then talking to them about some of the aesthetic procedures, because they were also free, relatively free compared to any other time. We were able to do a lot of webinars during that time, and also even for the field team. And we took this opportunity. How do we ensure our reps become digitally savvy? So during those 3-4 months, how do we ensure that we completely disrupt the market with by again the selling skills? Again, selling skills in a physical world and also in a virtual world becomes different, and also the etiquette during the virtual calls, right? So those things we're able to teach them and then master them. So once the market opened, and then it becomes easier. And doctors were also waiting, right? And then it was so. And also doctors also, for a period of time, after 6 months, the webinar fatigue started.
No.
They said, no, guys, again, listen, I do not want to listen to any of the global KOLs or again, global seminars where I want your team to come and meet us, right?
Yeah.
So that has happened, and then we are able to manage that.
So relatably, related to whatever you have said, one question which is there about the performance management and appraisals. So how difficult it was to manage the performance and to appraise the employees at the time of COVID when we all were struggling.
Yeah. So again, we all understand, right? Again, we took a lot of initiative. I said first 3 months, April, May, June, right? So the team did not do well. Everything was shut, right? And there is so we need to reduce the target for the team, and also again in terms of calls coverage, all those also we measure, right? So those things we need to tell them during that period. We'll see what best we can do, and then we're able to reduce those areas. And also again, you're right. And performance appraisals were done virtually during that year. And those people who can come to office, it's fine. Otherwise, again, it was done completely virtually. That was a great learning. And I would say that has really helped us. So now we are completely prepared, whether it's wave 3, wave 4, whether it's physical, virtual, we'll be able to do all the performance appraisals. We are completely prepared.
Great. So one question from us: how do you establish routine for self-care at the moment of heavy burden of loss in the organization?
So can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. Routine for self-care for employees at the moment of heavy burden of losses.
Yeah, correct. The routine of
days.
self-care, right? Again, it's we have gone through that, and then I also personally went through COVID. Sitting in a room, first wave, and then sitting in a room for 14 days or 21 days, it's really tough. So how do you ensure in terms of you become stronger in terms of physical, emotional well-being? So by attending to so many programs, keeping yourself engaged, that's a critical, and then that's what we did with all our employees, not only with our employees, and then with their family members, so that they're able to manage this both.
Sure. So I think Khushbu has also one question. Khushbu, you have one question you were writing in the chat box. So stress bursting mechanism. So specifically we ask you individually, like, so as leader, what is your stress bursting mechanism?
Okay. So like I said, I also went through COVID, and then sitting in 21 days in one room, quarantine yourself, it's eye stress, right?
No.
So at the same time, I did not take leave. So how will I engage myself? And then during the virtual calls, I did not miss not even a single virtual call with my region or global.
Wow.
So how will I engage myself? I was completely engaged with the organization and also talking regularly to the team. Otherwise, sitting in the room, you get really, so I'm also a human being, right? It can happen to anybody. So I was able to get out of the stress because of my engagement with calls, virtual calls, and also with my team calls. And also, again, we are continuously thinking, how do we ensure our team safety? That was on our top of mind. How do we take care of our so many families? So that was in top of mind for my leadership team. So we have been talking about this continuously, right? So that really helped me in terms of coming out of the stress, and also ensure we take care of employee health and safety and then wellness.
So the requirements of consumers have changed now. Their expectations from the manufacturers or from the market have changed. So how do you cope up with that? If you can share some thoughts on it. I think some marketing students have asked this question.
Okay. Again, in terms of the consumer preferences really changed, right? So now earlier we were never into online channels, right? E-pharmacies, and also again Amazon, Flipkart also for some of our consumer products. So that has really changed. If you see the e-pharmacies growth, and then which is growing in a much bigger way, and also some of the consumer products selling. Sitting at home now, we can get anything, right? So that is what COVID has taught us. We're able to get all the online products. So how do we ensure your online stronger? How do we ensure your supply chain, not only the regular supply chain, which is traditional supply chain, how do we ensure your digital presence is also stepped up? So as a marketeer, how do we ensure your digital presence in Instagram, Facebook, those areas, and ensure the supplies are also done through all these online channels and also through online pharmacies? If you're able to do that, not only in the regular pharmacies, traditional trade, they're able to do it in general trade, modern trade, and also on the digital e-com. All those areas we're able to learn a lot of things during COVID. So again, somebody was asking that who's driving the digital transformation in your company, the you or CFO? I said, not both of us. It's only the COVID. COVID has really changed the digital transformation in organizations. That way, again, now we are able to be prepared in terms of not only the traditional pharmacies, we are there everywhere with our digital presence because the consumer preferences are completely changing.
So one question, sir, about the challenges as a leader, what you have faced and which we did not face before COVID. What were the new challenges what you have faced? Apart from this motivating employees and engaging employees, what were the other challenges?
So other challenge was again virtually, right? And we are not so digital savvy. Suddenly, when I go to so many meetings, large teams, we talk and then come back. Suddenly, when you sit in front of a laptop whole day, talking to people, whether that side people are listening to you or not, we do not know. How do we cannot make up really from the body language, whether they have understood what you're communicating, right? So that was initially tough. But again, over a period of time, we understood by asking questions repeatedly. That part was again, for me as a leader, again, the biggest learning was leading virtually. So first few months, it was very, very tough. And then I learned it over a period of time now by asking repeated questions and also again, by having one-on-one conversations with them, that has really helped me.
So I'll think we'll take one last question.
Dr. Bartika,
sir,
I think there are a few questions on the question answer box.
Okay.
Anurag, Pradyumna, and Pallav, all three of them have asked questions.
Sure.
You can just go through them.
Sure. So, so one question which is there, how leader is both a privilege and a responsibility during the difficult times?
Yeah. So it's a very, very interesting question. It's a privilege to lead the organization. At the same time, responsibility and accountability, right? And then people are watching you, people are seeing you, right? So how do you behave and then how do we respond that time? That becomes very critical. Many traditional leaders have failed. They're not able to cope up with this sudden change of environment. So that's where adopting your personal leadership competencies comes very, very critical. So as a leader, and then if you're, one is privilege, and then you talk about all those things at the same time. And if you're not able to adapt yourself to the situation and then you ensure that your leadership competencies change immediately. That's where many leaders have failed. And if you're able to change your competencies and then adapt to the situation, it's fine, right? Again, you fly. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle.
Sure. So we have taken two questions of Anurag and Pratim already been sorted out, but Pallav is Pallav is a person, he has asked a question, being a leader in my recent job. So he's a student with experience. He's an engineer and he has worked for 2 years and now he's doing a management course with us. So he has asked that I tried to grow with my team, but somehow I find it very difficult to keep the majority of my team. So my question is how to cope up with your team when all aren't on the same page.
Okay. So that's where again, you know, what you must do is when you take charge of any new team, right? And then, so I've been in this role for the last 15 years. And then when I went to Philippines as the first GM, first time at the age of 39, right? That in a different country, different culture. How do you succeed? So that's where when you're taking charge of a big team or a new team, you need to make your expectations very, very clear, right? So you need to talk to them, sit with the team. As a leader, what is that you expect? Right, in terms of deliverables, make it clear that we are talking about this performance appraisals. Like that, again, make it clear to your team. Your expectations has to be made very clear so that you are able to measure that. Once you have made your expectations very clear, measure that on a regular basis, whether it's fortnightly or a monthly basis, so that they're aligned. Tell them this is what I want. This is the organizational priority, and also you need to make your purpose and vision very, very clear to the team. If that is understood by the team, So this is what we're aiming, right? So this year, we all know, my entire organization knows, I am working towards a 500 crore or a 700 crore organization. And then how can you help me? How can you support me? Are you with me on this journey, right? And what are your key responsibilities? What are your key deliverables? If you're able to define clearly, tell the purpose to the team, I'm sure they can succeed in any whether it's a new leader or a seasoned leader. This is extremely critical.
So last question.
Yeah.
Last question for sure, and then I'll ask Khushbu to present vote of thanks.
Yeah.
So resilient in crisis, we have talked, and you have also talked in your slides. So
Yeah.
how difficult to maintain this term work-life balance?
Yeah. So it's recently also we discussed in one of our meetings. Again, it's not easy, right? I think now people are talking about it's not work-life balance, it's work-life integration.
Integration.
Right. How do we integrate both? Again, it's now with hybrid working coming up now. Earlier, it's only physical. We are working, and then with hybrid working, how do we maintain that? Even in virtual meetings, it's going to be stress throughout the day. You're sitting at home in front of the laptop. It's going to be difficult. So how do we integrate both, and then with the family, and then also your personal life? That's important. I think that we need to develop over a period of time.
Sure,
yeah, one point, Dr. Bhartika and Khushbu, allow me to ask
sure, sir.
Sathya.
Yeah.
Though he has answered almost all the queries of students from different verticals, not a question, but I just wanted to trying to understand whether we are on the same page or not. I mean, Mr. Sathya, I mean, though in fact you have already highlighted in one of your answer, but how do you rate? I mean, do you find any correlation between a leadership skill and the tech savvy or digitally equipped process? I mean, during this, or it's a kind of momentary. Think about it.
Yeah, sorry, can you come back on the last part, which was voice was breaking?
No,
how do you measure your leadership?
I'm just trying to understand whether you find any kind of strong correlation between leadership skill and digitally or tech savvy process.
Yeah, so I agree, because I was not a digital person earlier, right? And then
right.
So some of us, again, because of our nature, and then I've been in the industry for a long time. We organize digital courses, digital savviness for our general managers. So Galderma globally, they did all this digital savviness, and then how to succeed in a digital world. And then we had a lot of programs. So that really helped us. And then, for example, I'm not so active in Instagram or Facebook. So how do we get into those areas? That was completely new to me, which I've learned it in the last 3 years. I would say that's one of the newer skills which I've developed in the last few years.
Right. So a mandatory characteristics has been added to leadership skill.
Absolutely.
That is, you need to be digitally skilled also.
Correct. Digital service, I completely agree, Dr. Tapan. It's one of the important skills going forward.
Exactly.
Once the future of workforce is going to change globally, and we do not know whether it's a physical or a virtual, digital savviness is going to come handy. And then if somebody is not prepared, then they're going to lose out, right? And then I totally agree with your point. That's one of the important leadership competencies which we need to have, or we need to be added in the curriculum or in the leadership profiles. Completely agree.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So now I would request Khushbu to propose vote of thanks.
Completely overwhelmed. So on behalf of Sathya Narayanan Jaipuria Group of Educational Institutions, I extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. G. Sathya Narayanan for his eloquent and insightful lecture on the role of business leaders in a crisis like COVID. With clarity and conviction, Mr. Narayanan has expressed his views on the relevance and significance of exemplary business leadership in times of crisis. We are sure, sir, that the students and teachers of both the institutions, Jaipuria School of Business and Jaipuria Institute of Management, would have many important and valuable key takeaways today. We thank you, sir, for taking time out of your busy schedule for this guest lecture, and we look forward to collaborate with you many times in the future too. We thank all the attendees for their interest in this pertinent lecture and thank the IT team for the back-end support. Sathya Narayanan Jaipuria Group will continue to bring more lectures, debates, and discussions on relevant topics. Stay healthy, stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khushbu, Dr. Tapan, Dr. Vartika. Thank you so much. And then it's a pleasure meeting you. And
Thank you,
also,
sir.
always it's a pleasure to talk to the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.